Compromise, teamwork, and flexibility are the secret ingredients to today's sensory play recipes. I'm going to show you how making slime, moon sand, and oobleck are the perfect vehicles for teaching social skills without the kids even realizing it. So let's get ready to turn playtime into learning time. Before we start making anything, the first thing I do is I pair my students up, or I put them in small groups of 3. Each group or pairing will receive one recipe, one bowl, and one spoon. So what they have to do is decide for themselves in a way that makes sense and fair to their own group who's going to do what. So they have 4 easy steps to follow, but they're going to have to compromise and figure out who's going to do first step, who's going to do the second. And if they can't decide, you can teach them things like rock, paper, scissors, or how to compromise and take turns. You might find that you have one student who's more of a take charge kind of person and another student who's more mild-mannered. And what you want to do is make sure, as the facilitator, that each student is getting their voice heard. So that is where your job will come in, and making sure, like, hey, are you checking in with your partner? Is that good for both of you? Those little indirect verbal prompts really go a long way. So slime is a great one because there are so many choices to be made, especially when it comes to the color. So what you'll often find is that one student wants it one color and the partner wants it another color. No problem. It's a quick and easy recipe. So what I usually do is I have them decide what color they're going to do first, and then don't worry, you can do the other color later. So that way they're relaxed and they're not upset that they could only do a color that they didn't want to do. And they're more open and more accepting of helping their partner because they know they're going to get their color as well. So slime is very easy. It calls for 1/2 cup of glue. Then it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Stir that up. Then you want to add a color. So you'll add a couple drops of color. Stir that up. And then the magic comes in with some solution. So you'll see for the slime, the contact solution is the magic ingredient. It's what takes it from just being completely sticky with the glue. And once it comes off easily from the bowl, then you've got your slime. What you have to do after that is take it in your hands. See how the bowl is completely clean? Take it in your hands and just work it a little bit. Some kids don't like this part because it's still a little gooky, but if you work it with your hands, it will get that nice texture where it's really slimy and stretchy, but it's not so sticky that it's sticking to everything they do. Then when they're done making this first batch of the color that the student wanted, they can start working on the second one, because as you can see, it takes just a minute or 2 to make the whole slime. And then it's just super fun to play with. You can put glitter in here, you can put pony beads in here. Play with it how you want to play with it. The next activity is called moon sand, and there's only 2 ingredients, flour and baby oil. So there's less steps, less compromising, less back and forth talking when they're making the recipe, but the product that they make lends itself really well to more playtime and more communication while they're actually playing rather than making. So the recipe just calls for about a cup of flour into a bowl and a 1/2 cup of baby oil. Then you just mix it until it becomes moldable, and you can play with it just like sand. I'm just going to put this one that I made into my big bowl of sand that I already have. And this is a great one. It feels really good, tactile. It feels really, really soft, and it smells really good with the baby oil. And also just visually, when you play with it like that, is also very satisfying. But the fun thing about moon sand is it's, like I said before, moldable. So you just use it like sand at the beach. So you can use different molds or like any sand toys that you have, and you can just play with it like that and have them use their imagination. then also you could just keep it in your classroom if you want, and you can like use it for a sensory bin. You can hide animals in it or whatever theme you want to do with it. The last recipe also only has 2 ingredients, cornstarch and water. And just like the other recipes, they are going to have a visual sequence to follow and go along. So this one is called oobleck, and it's very interesting because it feels weird. It's a solid/liquid. It's one of those weird fluids, which lends itself really well to having the kids talk about it like, oh, this is weird. I think it's solid. No, now it's liquid. So how you do it is you first get a cup of cornstarch and you put it on a plate or in a bowl. And then you slowly add water until you get the texture that you're looking for. So when you pick it up, it should kind of be solid. You see how it's not just liquid because I have to grab to pick it up? But then as soon as I release my hand, it's completely liquid. So you can put glitter in here. You can make it different colors and do something creative with it. This is a picture from when we had a theme of Earth Day, and my brilliant students decided to do some green and some blue and then put the corresponding animals in it. An important thing with all these recipes is that you're going to have the ingredients that the kids need, but you're not going to have, for example, a box of cornstarch for each group. The whole point is you want them talking, you want them communicating, you want them advocating for what they need. So although they'll have per group their own recipe and they'll have their own bowl, they're not going to have all the materials for themselves. So sometimes that's hard to wait and to take turns. What I have done in the past is I have them count how many kids are there in this group, and they'll count. And then I'll say, how many measuring spoons? They'll count that. And there will always be more kids than there are measuring cups, I meant to say. And so then we put it together. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that we're going to have to wait, we're going to have to share. But don't worry, because you will have time to finish. I have found that it's a lot of the times it's not so much that students have a hard time sharing or taking turns, is that they have a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of nervousness that they're not going to get the opportunity to finish or to complete their little project how they want it. So assure them that everybody will get a turn, everyone will complete their project. You might just have to wait a little bit, and that really, really works. So there you have 3 easy sensory recipes you can do with your students. If you're interested in more of these easy recipes, check out the link in the description.